I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
I'm Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Laxon.
I am Francisco Cerundolo, and you are listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Well, we now go into the good afternoon, and welcome to the first of the semi-final matches here at the Open Sud de France, or the Open South de France, in Montpellier. We currently have both players walking out on the court, but of course we will talk through who they are. Of course, the first thing I want you to do, whilst we introduce the players, which are the number 2 seed Jannik Sinner. The world number 15 at the moment from Italy, or the world number 17, from Italy, Jannik Sinner, who of course is the favourite in this match against the young and up-and-comer, who's caused quite a bit of a storm this week in Montpellier. Arthur Fries, the French wildcard. So we got those two there, and what would be quite good is, first of all, you make sure that you whack a whack a like and a comment as much as you can in the comment box. That would be excellent, and of course to share this as well if you can, along with liking this. So we will just put that up there, and as we rock along there, as I can start to see comments in the box, that's fantastic to see. And what I want you to do now is to predict. Who do you think is going to win, and what possibly could the score be? There we go. Like I said, if you could please put in the comments below what you believe the score will be in this match. Like I said, it's between the second seed here in Montpellier, Jannik Sinner, and the French wildcard, the young 18-year-old French wildcard, Arthur FILS. I think it's going to probably go to 3 sets, but I am going to back Sinner in this. I don't just say that because I put Sinner as my winner of this tournament in my TNNS fantasy predictions. But I do believe that FILS will put on a show here for the crowd here in Montpellier, and will do his best to take this as long as possible. And against the Italian number one, as it would be at this stage at the moment, Matteo being outside of the top 20. As we can see, we've got a good, both players have come through quite convincingly, at least when it came to their quarterfinal matches. Arthur FILS beat Quinton Hayes, a fellow French player, 7-6, 6-3. Whilst Jannik Sinner beat a fellow Italian, so we had all-French quarterfinal followed by an all-Italian quarterfinal. He beat his fellow Italian, Lorenzo Sonego, in 6-4, 6-3 as well. All good. So we've already got to start to see some comments flying through the chat. That's really good. Mana, hey James, good to see you again. It's good to see you as well, Mana. I already see a comment in the chat there. And you're also going for Sinner has had a really easy way to the semis. I will just put that up while I talk about it. Sinner has a really easy way to get to the semis by first round, walk over second, and beat Sonego. I tell you what, there is something we will talk about the fact that Sinner signed up to this tournament. He's had a lot of time off since the since the Australian Open to sort of get ready for a match, and has to wait until Friday because of getting a bye and then getting a seeding. Table tennis, you are saying Sinner as well. We've got Forza Sinner from Mano. We really are going for Jannik on this one. That's good to see some enthusiasm pop through there. Whereas on the opposite end, Ghost, you are going for FILS. You've even gone and said that it'll be a tight first set. He'll end up losing concentration in the second and losing it just by one break, and then really coming strong in the third. That's an interesting prediction in the way of adding it or looking at it in the system. Are you wearing a vest? It's very slick. I am wearing some sort of like black waistcoat. It's black and red. Seems to work quite well as a combination, I hope. At least for this. And Ghost, you were also saying that you would really want to see a Rune FILS final. Sinner has to go down. Sorry, that would be an interesting final. I think a lot of people, I know a lot of neutrals would probably really would like to see a Sinner Rune final just because of where they are in the ranking, and that would be a real showstopper at the end. But also FILS to see what he can do against a fellow teenager who is on the rise. So how are their routes been? Well, of course, Sinner, we've kind of just touched on a fair bit there. He's, he had a bye in the first round, being one of the top 4 seeds. So was, due to a play on Wednesday. Wednesday came. His opponent was meant to be Markon Vucinic, and then Vucinic needed to pull out before the match started a few hours before, which was a bit annoying for the crowd because a few of them were hoping that was meant to be the top night match. That was the first match that was scheduled for a 7 o'clock Central European time. For me, it was 6 o'clock Greenwich Means Time in the UK. So they had Arthur FILS, funny enough, taking on Roberto Bautista Agut, but we will go on to that once I've just finished with Sinner. And then, of course, Sinner had his Italian counterpart in Lorenzo Sonego, the Italian number. Oh God, there's a lot of Italians in the top area, so I think it's to be Italian number 4, and that was a convincing straight sets victory. But it couldn't have been, given the fact that Lorenzo had played 2 matches before, maybe not necessarily on the centre court surface, but he definitely was on the similar sort of surface on the first court. Again, why is it that we can only watch centre court 1 and court 2 at 250s? On betting websites, whereas it's only the centre court on like Amazon or Tennis TV for where I am in the UK. That's an annoyance, but I will we'll run off that. But he came through there, which is good. But then moving on, and I'll just check to see what's happening in the challenge. Hello, you're new. I've been here a little bit, but I've come off. I've been a month or 2 before I've been on. Lamberto, but I hope you'll be able to see me a little bit more. which will be excellent. Remember, if you can like this post, that'd be excellent. And then we got Hi Lam from Mana saying no. Okay, so that's just a bit of a talk within the chat, which is excellent to see. Please continue to do so. And then we've got Ghost saying that Sonego and Sinner are both from northern Italy. Interesting. Good bit of geographical knowledge there, Ghost. It's a good bit to be able to add there. So like we said, so Sonego was beaten quite comfortably by Sinner. Then moving on to the 18-year-old who is facing Sinner today with Arthur Fries. Started his journey quite unceremoniously, you could probably say. The first match on the Monday evening, given the fact that the Monday was spent with a lot of qualifiers, kind of went a bit under the radar. He played, of course, a French great in Richard Gasquet. Played a French great in Richard Gasquet, and showed what he can do. And he was able to get the win over Gasquet. It was a little bit shaky at the start, but that was by the by. But then after that, 2 days later, the second night match on the Wednesday, got an absolutely huge win against Roberto Batista Agut, somebody who could usually chew up a young up-and-comer, especially somebody who goes for big shots. He can easily reflect back. And then, like we said, a couple of days ago, he beat Quinton Hayes. Right, we are going into the match as a start. Quinton Hayes is serving, and we'll go from there. So Hayes going for the first serve. Goes cross court, Sinner's able to reach it. We've got a bit of a rally going on here from the baseline, forehand to forehand, cross court, and Sinner goes up the line and hits the net. So FILS has started us off. And what we will do whilst we're talking is also get the stream deck thing up and running, which will be excellent. I'm just going to grab something just here. So we've got FILS just going for the serve again. Goes down the tee. Sinner's able to get to it, but he hits it long. That would be a slight annoyance to Sinner that he was able to get to the end of it, but was only able to spray it long beyond the tram line. So Sinner's just getting himself prepared here. So good start. First 2 points for FILS is what you want to see. FILS goes down the tee. Unfortunately, it's the wrong side of the tee and is out. So we've got a second serve here. Important clarification. FILS' match with Gasquet, RBA, and Hayes. All straight sets wins. Impressive. It certainly was, Ghost. I will just put that up for people to have a look at. It certainly was an impressive win as we're going for some backhand-to-backhand exchanges. Backhand again. Forehand from FILS. And the forehand goes long. So Sinner was able to force a unforced error out of FILS on the third point there. And again, thank you, Ghost, for that clarification on the impressive way in which FILS has got to this semi-final here. 90 points is going to really help his ranking. It looks as though he's going to probably break into the top 150, and he's certainly looking and eyeing a top 100 place very soon. So we go for it. He goes for a shot, goes into the net. Going to go for a second serve here. So it goes down the tee. Sinner's able to get to it, and we've got a bit of a backhand exchange. Forehand from Sinner, forehand from FILS. Cross court exchange. Clips the net. FILS is able to take control of the rally again. FILS is coming to the net, but chooses to go back. Clips the net by FILS, and Sinner's able to run forward and backhand it cross court to make it 30-30. So after the first couple of impressive points, Sinner is very much back into this FILS service game. Mariner is pointing at something really interesting, which is he has very good challenger form. Absolutely, I think he's only ever lost once this year so far because of the challenger matches that he was playing, and that was to Barrère, I believe, in challenger in France not that long ago. So we've got a bit of a drop shot there, smashed by FILS, and he smashes it into the net. FILS smashes that into the net. So Sinner already on the first half of FILS service game has a break point. Hello MJ, welcome to the stream. Like I said, I hope you all enjoy this brilliant match that we should have in front of us here. So, and it's a very packed crowd in today, which is excellent to see. French are always incredibly good at supporting their tennis. So we've got FILS just lining up for the serve. Hits it cross court. Sinner is able to just get to it, but it is hit into the low part of the net. So FILS has been able to save his first break point. So we're now sitting at deuce. Hi Gary, nice to see you as well. Long time to hear from you as well. Hope you enjoy the women's coverage in Dubai, or not Dubai, sorry, in Abu Dhabi. Dubai's in 2 weeks' time, and of course we've got Doha next week. Make sure everyone that you hit the like button, as Sinner has another break point, was able to get onto the circuit there. Really is packed in the Court Dominguez today. Very strong serve there by FILS. Looked as though he was going to go out wide, went straight down the serve, 203 kilometers per hour. Absolutely monster to again save his second break point. You get a great image of a kid on his phone, not paying attention to the actual tennis. There was a player. He's not happy with the balls. I think one of the balls is deflated. His FILS has walked to the chair just to hand that over. So we're going for a serve here. It is Juice here on the FILS first service game. Into body serve by FILS, but Sinner's able to get good control over it. Got a bit of a backhand exchange, and FILS backhands it into the net. At this early stage, it looks as though Sinner has the advantage when it comes to the baseline to baseline exchanges, or at least the +5 shots. +5 shot rallies, whereas FILS needs to sort of get it done within realistically 3 to 4 shots. Down the line again, Sinner's able to get good control over it. Sinner is really at the back, really behind the back of the baseline there, and FILS is able to rip it with a ball that felt short in the court, cross court to where his forehand was, to make it Juice again. If anything coming from Ghost, then Manaris is engaged to Borna Chorich. That's great if that is the case. FILS hits an ace there again, 203 kilometers an hour to make it game point, to give him a game point here. So FILS is just lining up for a service motion at the moment. Goes for it. Cross court. Sinner's able to get something onto it, but hits it long. But it was a let, I believe, or it was a second serve. I think it was a second serve. Sinner creeps forward, able to get a really good purchase on that return. We've got a forehand by Sinner, forehand by FILS, backhand by Sinner, backhand by FILS, both at the back of the court. Long by FILS, but it's all. So FILS went long. Sinner was able to get a good purchase on that return, and FILS hits it into the net, and we are at Juice. As FILS goes to the towel box. Hopefully, those towel boxes have been re-welded back to the board after Rune ripped them off yesterday, and somehow. As we're seeing some talks about Jude Bellingham in the chat, saying that FILS looks a bit like him. FILS goes out wide, but he's just slightly long. So we go back to a second serve. So FILS down the line, good purchase, it would look like it was good purchase by Sinner, but he just hits it long. So FILS has got game point again. Yeah, Manny, you pick up a good point. This match has been going on now for 7 minutes when it comes to its length. Well, this game, sorry, not this match, but this game's gone for 7 minutes, so it could be a slightly nervy one. Down the line by FILS, good return by Sinner. Sinner cross court, FILS off cross court. Up the line by Sinner, good return there by FILS, and Sinner hits it long. In an attempt to play an aggressive point. So FILS keeps his serve and survives that service game. We'll give him this. But would hit out the FILS button in sort of like in appreciation from being able to survive a very nervous first service game. So as the ball kids give the balls to Sinner. Both players are getting ready for now what is the second game of the set. So Sinner goes and gets ready for the serve here. Serves it out wide. FILS is unable to get to it, so that is an ace. Sinner's first point is an ace. He'll be very happy about that. Getting himself ready as well. It's always an interesting one, the Montpellier, especially given the pink courts or the pink outline of the court. Sinner goes cross court by Sinner, up the line by FILS, cross court by Sinner in his backhand to backhand exchange. Sinner hits it really quite long. Sinner down the line. FILS just stretches to it, goes over the net. FILS backhand over to Sinner, but it is long. He tries to go for the lob, and it just goes beyond the baseline. So it is 30 love here. 30 love to Sinner. As we get more chat about Jude Bellingham, but a really good thing about somebody who survived the earthquake in Turkey at the moment. I know a lot of our thoughts with everyone there and the tragedy of that and the widespread devastation that came from such a powerful earthquake as it was. So Sinner goes to the serve, down the line, it hits the net. Just ends up, bouncing into the net there as we go for the second serve. Second serve here by Sinner. Down the line, FILS able to get something to it. Backhand by Sinner, backhand by FILS up the line. Really strong by backhand up the FILS by the line. Sinner's able to stretch down the line winner. What a passing shot by Sinner. Just as FILS thought he had his man on the ropes, FILS ran to the net, went cross court. Sinner ran with all his might and managed to get a strong backhand onto that passing shot. Andy Murray would be proud of that passing shot backhand. So Sinner is at 40 love here, looking to hopefully win the first game to love. It's something he'd very much enjoy, if it's all possible. And also means I could whack out another button if he does this. Down the line, FILS able to get something onto it all, but Sinner hits a... So Sinner went out wide, FILS hit it back with an even more acute angle, and Sinner is unable to do anything but slam it into the net. Like I said, make sure you like this video, be best as possible, especially as we now get into the business end of Montpellier and Cordoba and Dallas, along with Abu Dhabi and Leeds. Down the line thing by Sinner down the line. FILS is struggling with the defences here, but doing all he can to keep the ball in. Up line by Sinner, up line by FILS. FILS just hits it long in an attempt to stick Sinner out to the corner. He hits it beyond the tram line, but it was very slight. I agree. Some good Sinner is showing, as you'd expect now, of a man of his experience. No real nerves at the start of this match. Just looking to crack on as you would expect normally. As we cut to some images, some kids, some people in the crowd, and all that lovely stuff. So FILS here now with his second service game. Hits it long, hits it too long beyond the service box. So FILS goes for the serve here, and he's going similar sort of direction. We've got a rally going on here. Backhand by Sinner, backhand by FILS, forehand by Sinner, backhand by FILS again, forehand by Sinner again as he stretches to that. FILS goes cross court but hits the net. FILS goes cross courts but hits the net. So Sinner opens up with a 15-love lead. Yeah, so Sinner's kicked us off with a 15-love lead. Again, that kid is still boarding on his phone. I don't know why you're actually watching it at the tennis match if you don't want to watch the tennis. I do not know. It's not so they're just taking photos. They're just literally playing on their phone. Like you're in a corporate box. Love it. You'd be great in the corporate box. It'd be fun. So FILS, cross court, too long by that. It's the second serve here for FILS. FILS tries to stick it in the body, but Sinner has read it like a dream, and Sinner stretched it at the net. Oh, that was good. So Sinner ran to the net. FILS went cross court, and Sinner was unable to do anything with it, but basically plonk it into the net. It's a really good start to the tennis here. James, are you a one-handed backhand guy, James? Well, funny enough, when I'm on the tennis court, Ghost, I am a one-handed backhander. It's the only one that feels fairly natural to me when I do it, and it's not because I feel like I turn into Stefanos Tsitsipas or Roger Federer from doing it, but it just feels the most natural. I do like a one-handed backhand in terms of general to watch. It does look aesthetically pleasing. I mean, you watch a Gasquet or a team one-handed backhand, especially a drilled one, just looks beautiful. As Sinner gets an unforced error. As FILS makes an unforced error, hitting it long, and as such, now Sinner is 30-15 up. Hopefully that answers your question, Ghost. I don't know if you're a one-handed backhander. That'd be quite good to learn in the chat. I know both these players we've got on the match here are double-handed backhanders or two-handed backhanders. So FILS goes down the line, but he's just long. He's just long with his shot. So we've got a good serve there by FILS. We've got a rally going along here. Forehand to forehand exchange. Sinner tries to go down the line, but hits the net. A bit of an unforced error there by Sinner. He does not look happy about that. And I give off the vibe of a single-handed backhander. Well, that's a fun one. Along that one there. So FILS here, 30-30 on his serve. So FILS cross court. Sinner is got something on it, but it was like a cricket shot. Not cricket shot's probably the worst thing to describe it. Like a baseball shot, effectively. Had a lot of upwards momentum. Ghost, I'm a one-handed backhander trapped in the body of a two-handed backhander. That's quite funny. So Sinner's able to get something on that there. FILS is just up the line. Sinner goes cross-court, clips the net, and because of that clipping of the net, it goes beyond the tram line. So FILS, second service game, able to hold it with a little bit more comfort than the previous one. So we are currently sitting, as both players go to sit down, at 2-1 to Arthur FILS. You may see me from time to time quickly muting my mic. I'm still recovering from a bit of a cold. So please do bear in mind that does take place. But you're quite accommodating. We'll also see people start to drop out. Remember, we are sitting at 30 people watching at the moment. If we can get that number up, that'd be excellent. You can do that by liking this video. That'd be fantastic. I know it's we're at the early points of a Saturday afternoon, but it'll all be good in the end. What am I going? I don't just go. Just have a look at results that are around the ground that are happening in other parts of destinations. I think we've had both both doubles matches can be completed in Abu Dhabi, which is the WTA 500 event. So they're just going on court. It's going to be Beatrice Haddad-Maia and Belinda Bencic at the moment. And at the moment on Litz, it's one set up for Potapova against Vondrousova, and it's 6-5 in the second set to Vondrousova, but they're on serve at the moment. I believe we've got Maria Sakkari is going to be in action in Litz later on as well, hoping to pick up a second title. It is going to be one of her aims. And then for those that are interested on the Challenger circuit, in Vinicius, Liam Brody and Zed Kola are through to the final there. And in Tenerife, the first semi-finals kicking off. First set to Travalia, but Ryan Peniston is a break up in the second step. So looking good for Brits and challenger matches at the moment, which is pretty good. So we're going into the next match. Sinner goes for a serve, clips the net on the way over. So we have a let. So we'll just play the let. Yeah, so we played a let there. So Sinner now goes for, wow, that's a good strong serve by Sinner. Goes up the court. FILS is unable to do anything about that T serve, and ends up spraying it wide. As Sinner goes to collect some balls. We can probably talk about both, Sinner's Australian Open run. Fairly good. As we just go, Sinner goes for a up the line again. Sinner gets a little bit stuck there. Cross court by FILS. Hits it long. So Sinner is 30 love up. So Ghost, you are saying, is it me or does Freeze have a little bit of a Federer? Freeze have a little bit of a Federer motion in his serve. The way he balances the front left leg and dangles his racket and arm briefly before landing backs up loader. Possibly as a bit of an interesting, analysis you're doing there, Ghost. So certainly could do. A Sinner shows some strength there. Able to take control of the rally from the get-go. Finishes it with a strong back forehand in free. So Sinner was 40 love up here on his service game. So he's looking for a game to love, goes right around the court, Sinner up the line, and is able to get first game to love here in Court Patrice Dominguez at the Open Sud de France for Jannik Sinner as we are two sets all. That's a fortunate thing from Australia. As we're at 2 games all in this first set, goes out wide by Freeze down the line, but hits the net. He only ends up burying it in the net. So Sinner 15 love up, applying the pressure early in this third service game for after Freeze. Sinner is determined to get an early break. So Freeze down the line, Sinner's able to just get to it. He read it really well, but then Freeze is able to receive a short forehand and hit it wide. Hit it for a winner. Good hit there by Freeze for a winner. Good outside forehand as well. Sometimes they can really go askew. Freeze cross court. Sinner's able to deal with it. Freeze again with a backhand by Freeze. Sinner forehand outside of his racket. Forehand again by Sinner. Freeze is able to put it down the other side of the court. We've got a bit of a forehand to forehand exchange back of the court here. Backhand by Freeze. Backhand by Sinner. Backhand by Freeze down the line. Sinner goes cross court. Freeze is able to just about get to it. Sinner goes for a slice a little bit by Freeze. For a backhand at the line by Sinner. And Freeze unable to do anything with it, but stick it into the net. What a rally there by both players, both showing their backhand and forehand extremes, whilst trying to force each other into a issue. So we're now at 30-15 to Jannik in this service game. His new balls are being given to Arthur Freeze. Ghost, you told me you wrote it exactly. That was an absolutely excellent rally that we had down there. So Freeze is just winding up for a serve. Tries to go cross court, bangs it into the net instead. So we got a second serve here, a real chance here for Sinner to really apply real pressure here. Sinner's good backhand by Freeze, backhand by Sinner. Freeze tries to lift it, backhand by Freeze, backhand by Sinner. Forehand by Freeze. And he forehands it to the other side of the court. Sinner is left scrounging or scrapping to try and get anything onto that and is unable to do so. So we are now at 30 all. 30 all here. Yeah, we got back. That was a really good a backhand to forehand change there by Freeze. Sinner was left scrounging. He's sticking in there, Freeze. He's doing what he can. He's certainly doing what he can. Yeah, I like the kid. I do like this kid as well. Thank you, Ghost. Down the line by Freeze. Forehand by Freeze. Sinner cross court, backhand. Forehand by Sinner. Backhand by Freeze. Backhand by Sinner. And backhands it into the net. So Freeze is at 40-30. So he's got a game point here on his serve. All that early pressure from Sinner has not paid off as it currently stands. It has not paid off as it currently stands. So Freeze goes down the tee, perfectly located. Sinner was unable to get anything substantial on it, hits it into the net, and we are sitting at 3-2. 3-2 here. So we've had 5 games. and all have been on serve in 23 minutes. 23 minutes have been here on court. Patrice Dominguez. Now, of course, there are. This is the first of three. Well, sorry, this is the second of 3 indoor hard courts that are located in France that are where we're having competitions this month. Last week we had the WTA 250 event in Lyon. I actually went to that one for a day. That was really quite well put on there at the Palais du Sport. Of course, this week, this is where we are in Montpellier, so just a little bit further south than Lyon. And then next week, there's a bit of a break, barring the fact there's a challenger that will be taking place in that week. And then next week in terms of starting week commencing the 20th, they will be the final indoor hardcourt event of this month in Marseille, or the Open 13 Province, as it is titled. So if you are an indoor tennis fan or a supporter of French tennis, there'll be a lot of that on the main screens over the next month. Whilst also we have things such as the Golden Swing taking place in Argentina, Brazil, and Chile. Some tournaments in America, and of course they'll be heading to Doha in a couple of weeks' time as well, followed by Dubai on the men's, and then on the women's. A few tournaments in Mexico, of course, will pop up. One in the States. The Middle Eastern tournaments, which of course will always stick up, and we're finishing with the indoor ones in Linz this week as well. So plenty of tennis, absolutely plenty of tennis. If you feel that you've missed something after the Australian Open, Sinner goes down the line, starts off as he means to go on with a ace there. Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame that you've not been able to go to Lyon. I think it does. It's a very nice modern city, Lyon. Would recommend certainly that if you get a chance to go. I know there's a clay court event that takes place in there in May. If you want to tie that in with a tennis trip, to be able to go there. As Sinner gets another point there, as Fritz hits it long. And of course, Acapulco is a fantastic tournament. At least by looks of it from a fan perspective, and the fact that it's usually located by a beach, which is always great. So Sinner here looking to wrap up this service game quite quickly. So he goes out wide. Fritz is able to get something on it, but he just hits it long. So we're at 40 love here for Jannik. Really is showing some really good form here on his own serve. Not letting freeze in a single bit, which will be something that will be frustrating the 18-year-old Frenchman. Down the team by Sinner. Forehand to forehand exchange taking place here. Backhand by Freeze. Hits it beyond the tram line. Sinner holds. Ghost, you live in the American West, and you're saying that you don't get much time to be able to watch many clay events. I can understand with the time difference being like 8 or 9 hours behind. So hopefully you'll be able to enjoy some of the clay court events that are taking place at the moment. I know it's Cordoba, which is on at the moment. As Freeze goes for a forehand up the line, Sinner backhands it back and fires it long. Freeze fires it long, Sinner 15 up love. And then, like I was saying to you, Ghost, next week it is Buenos Aires, followed by Rio de Janeiro, and then it is Santiago. So lots of clay events for people that love the clay to be able to watch. So Freeze goes up the line, Sinner's able to get an easy bit to it. Tries to get inside out and works an absolute dream. That inside out forehand has been an absolute dream here for Freeze in this against Sinner. We are 15-0. Please make sure that if you're in the chat, and there's a lot of you that are watching, please do comment if you've got anything you want to add, your thoughts on the match so far, or any sort of questions that you may have that you want me to have a go answering. So Freeze up the line, Sinner's able to get something onto it, and Sinner is only able to hit it long. So Freeze is at 30-15 here. Freeze is at 30-15. Somebody in Freeze's coaching box has a very bad plaster on his nose. So Freeze goes for the body shot. Sinner is, wow, that was a really good return there by Sinner, but then Sinner is unable to control the return back from Freeze. So at 40-15, this is looking like the most promising hold for Freeze in his last 4 service games, which is something his coach, and I believe he will be very glad to see. Goes pointing out the ball toss is very, very high. It is incredibly high. She may be able to struggle in open areas. That could be the case. Certainly could be the case. But he is able in this indoor case to hit it out wide and get the point. Good work by that as both players look to go sit down. Both players go for a sit down. So like I said, if you've got any questions, anyone at all that you want me to have a go answering, please do that. I'm more than happy to try and answer any questions you may have about some tennis that I like, players I like, any weird bits. That was in, yeah, it was in. It was in at all. As we're just getting highlights here showing. Of course, we've got a big event coming up next week. Which is absolutely stacked, which is Rotterdam, the first 500 event of the year. We've got such players in the draw as Stefanos Tsitsipas, Andrei Rublev, Holger Rune, Daniel Medvedev, Alexander Zverev, Pablo Carreño Busta, Jannik Sinner, Hubie Hurkacz. The list really does go on and on and on. It is a stacked event, absolutely stacked event. So hopefully we should get some absolute corkers, and that will hopefully show off to the best ability what indoor tennis can do. Good, we've got some questions. Okay, so if you're facing either Ben or JG in the finals at Wimbledon, who do you want? I mean, by the sounds of it, JG sounds like the better player, so I may want to face Ben. I don't know. I've not really tried myself out on the grass at this stage. I probably would say neither, and just a rubbery blob if that's the case. And brilliant for those other questions. Once we get another sit down, Ghost, I will answer them as such. As we just get a little bit of a delay there, Sinner's going to go for his 4th service game here in the first set. Sinner goes out wide and is slightly long. So Sinner then going for another serve bit here. Forehand to forehand, backhand by Sinner, backhand long and wide. He's has shoved him into a situation he was not expecting. He was not expecting that. So I think this is the first time that FILS has been ahead on Sinner's service game. Could be a really good time to do it. Absolutely packed stadium. Absolutely brilliant to see. As Sinner goes for a serve. He goes out wide. FILS is able to get a good return onto it. Deep. Forehand by FILS. And forehand long. The, expectation, pressure got to him. Ghost, you're making a good point. That was the first time that he got out ahead of. There we go. That's sorted there. Like I said, Ghost, I will answer your other questions as soon as we get another sit down. Like I said, anyone else, please make sure you comment. It'd be good to get a lot of you commenting in the chat. We're up to 18 people watching and a few likes. Block return there by FILS, really short, but Sinner read it really well and was able to forehand out, outside out, forehand it wide to make it 30-15 to Sinner. So Sinner, after that first point gone, he's looking to regain that control again that he has in his service games. That helps relieve some of the pressure. So there we go. Out wide, clips the net and goes long. So we've got a second serve here for Sinner. Something FILS may be able to take advantage of. Sinner, safe point to the body. We've got a backhand by Sinner, forehand by FILS, forehand by Sinner. backhand by FILS, backhand by Sinner, backhand by FILS, up the line. We've got backhand to backhand exchange, forehand by FILS, backhand by Sinner, backhand to backhand, forehand by Sinner, forehand by FILS, forehand here, backhand by FILS. Both players really trying to push each other back. FILS goes for the jugular, but misses, so it is 40-15 to Sinner. Ghost is picking out a good point. It does need to go deeper. It's sitting up too much for Jannik at the moment. And when I mean sitting up, it's sitting up in terms of being not close enough to the baseline to really cause Sinner any problems or to really push him back into a defensive mover. So Sinner here goes cross court. FILS is able to get something onto it, but is long. As Sinner shows off his footwork there. I've been able to stop the ball with his foot. FILS goes for the jugular on the, or at least a strong attacking forehand on the shot, but it only smashes into the net. We are now up to 4-all. I can probably answer this one quickly, Ghost. So Alcaraz is, we don't know necessarily how fit he is, but he is down to play Buenos Aires on the clay next week. He's the top seed there as it stands with Cameron Norrie, Lorenzo Massetti, and Diego Schwartzman making up the other top 4 seeds in that tournament. And it will be interesting to see how Alcaraz looks. He may not like the fact that he's also been given a bye to the second round, which may limit his match time. Cross court by FILS. Short there by FILS there. Sinner's able to get to that. Sinner's well in control here. Up the line there. And FILS is unable to do anything about that. Sinner showing good strength there. It is 15-love. So now going along. So Sinner's just getting himself ready. FILS goes for a down the line serve. It unfortunately hits it wide. Down the line by Sinner again. Sinner though gets to it, and FILS is unable to do anything but whack it into the Emirates line. I think what we're noticing here and what we could call it is Sinner just raising that level once more. As we get the first challenge of the match, funny enough, FILS is seeing if the ball that he hit into this Emirates sign was indeed a good one or a legal one, and it was quite strongly. So 30 loves here to Sinner, so really cranking up his pressure at the back end of the set. Cross court, Sinner's able to get a good return onto it. Cross court again by FILS. Sinner is unable to do anything with it, but hit it into the net. We just have Ghost's analysis popping up here because they seem to be quite good and strong. And what's happening here? Sinner is doing exactly what FILS needs to be doing on Sinner's serve, pushing it long and keeping your opponent back. So FILS goes down the line. It goes long. Sinner tries to protect his head with his racket. FILS goes for another serve. Goes out wide. Sinner gets something on it, but he gets too much on it. Sinner gets too much on that ball, and we're now at 30-all. We're at 30-all here on FILS' serve. What to say? We are at the business end of this set. By the way, I forgot to say 30-love. So FILS goes down the line, hits the net. It's the second serve here. So FILS goes down the line again. Sinner up the line. We've got a bit of a backhand to backhand exchange. Good deep one by FILS there. As FILS goes down the line with his forehand, and it just clips the line. Sinner's not happy. He wants, I believe, Sinner wants to review this on the monitor. Is it in? Was it out? It was in. It was in. As Ghost mentions about possibly not the best short choice by Sinner in this match. So FILS 40-30 after falling 30-love down is a game point up now. Cross court, Sinner's able to get something onto it. Down the line by FILS. Sinner is just only able to hit it long, and FILS is at 5-4. 5-4. He is holding on here, using every ounce of his current ability to stay in this match. So, Ghost, so you asked a couple of other questions. So your first one that I saw was, your first question. Your first question was, is Jack Draper the future of UK tennis? Certainly, well, at the moment, we will have Cameron Norrie, who is 27-ish at the moment, going to be 28, at least for the next 5 years. I don't suspect he will not be the British number one by the end of this year. I think he will still be the British number one, barring any major injury issues. But certainly, he has the game, the forehand, the strong backhand. He just needs to fatten out that forehand a little bit as well. His serve and his backhand are brilliant. And his movement at the net, once those bits are really improved, he will certainly, I certainly see him as certainly a top 10, possibly even a top 5 player in the making. I do think he'll get his first ATP title this year. I hope he certainly does get his first ATP title this year, and will certainly be due a deep run at Slam. I know it looked promising last year, at the back end of last year with the US Open, but injury, and that's another thing that he needs to get sorted. These injuries needs to be on the minimum. He has way too many of them, and that's quite apparent as the backboard of FILS' chair is absolutely soaked. So yeah, that's that question, and I'll go on to your Emma question, Ghost, in a bit. And yeah, Ghost, you put out a few things again to do with grit. Again, make sure everyone, if you can, comment in the chat if you want to cook setting up the questions or what you want me to answer. We are really deep here in the first set. That's taken 40 minutes as it currently stands at the Open Sud de France, sorry. And it's Alexa like speaking French in bits. So Sinner down the tee, hits it into the net. FILS is bouncing around. So Sinner ends up spraying it wide with the return, spraying it wide with the third shot in this match. Something he will not be a fan of at all. I'll just find some random bits of paper on my floor. You always find random bits of paper anyway. So 15 love here to FILS, 15 love here to FILS. Cross court by FILS. Cross court by Sinner, and into the net. FILS, 30 love up here on Sinner's serve, has a half chance. It is a half chance here for FILS, 30 love up. Will he break him? This is actually going to be quite interesting. This would be the most jammiest point of the match when Sinner has looked imperious on his serve at points to really up that gear and get that break. Can he get those break points? So Sinner here, going for the serve. Down, tries to go down the tee. It is into the net. We have a second serve here. FILS is bouncing around like a bunny at the back of the court. Sinner, down the tee. FILS strongly tries to hit it back and just puts too much on the return. It is long. It is long. He still is 30-15 up, but he may have handed something up there. Correct there, Ghost. I think we may have a break point chance swinging. I'll get the words out. A break chance forming. We just need FILS. If he wants to get that, just needs to keep his head here. The crowd are expecting. Sinner tries to go across court. He hits it into the net. We are now on to a second serve here. So Sinner goes across court again. FILS is able to get something strong onto that. Strong one by Sinner in terms of the return. FILS, cross court, really adding some strength to it. Sinner only in a defensive mark. Strong forehand by FILS, and Sinner is unable to do anything with it but put it into the net. We are at 2 break points here. 2 break points for Arthur FILS. And these break points are not just break points, they are also set points. Can he do it? Is he going to do it here? 2 break points that are also set points to take the first set here at the Open Sud de France. All the crowd are expectant. You can see some of the ball kids in the high stands. So Sinner just going to line up his serve. Goes cross court. FILS able to get something onto it, but is unable to keep it on the island. It is wide. It is just wide in the tram lines. The first of 2 break points have been squandered. Well, squandered is probably not a great term, but have not been met. We are now on to the second break point. Is he going to do it? That's the question. I just got the. I'm just hovering over the broken button if this happens. So Sinner going for the serve, goes out wide. FILS able to get a good strong return on it. Sinner backhand. FILS backhand as well. Backhand by Sinner. Backhand by FILS. Backhand by Sinner down the line. FILS able to just get to it. Backhand by Sinner cross court. FILS able to get to it. He's stretching to every facet. Oh, hits the nets. But now made the point neutral. Forehand by FILS. Backhand by Sinner. Backhand by FILS. Oh, he hits it beyond the tram line. He hits it beyond the tram line. We are at deuce. Both breakpoint chances have been squandered by the French. The French wild card. You can tell the disappointment on his face. He had 2 set points there, and it was a strong serve. It was a strong back to rally exchange between both players. Just the unforced error came from the French player. So Sinner here at juice. The point's not over there. Down the line, it goes long. Second serve here. Is there something that FILS can attack? So Sinner goes down the line again. Backhand by FILS. Backhand by Sinner. Really taking control of this point so far, Sinner. Back forehand by FILS. Points somewhat neutral now. Backhand by Sinner. Oh, and he sells a dummy. He sells a dummy to FILS. FILS found his feet stuck in the court as though it was quicksand, sucking his feet under. Sinner here has game point to try and make it 5-5. So, yeah, really, it was very risky, wasn't it, Ghost? Sean, you're popping into this. Sinner was always saving set points and match points, which you wouldn't have to defend so many of them, though. Correct. You need to limit them as much as possible if you want to go deep. Sinner tries to go down the line, ends up hitting it into the net. Sinner with a second serve here. Goes down the line. FILS able to get something onto it. Backhand by Sinner into the net. He backhands it into the net. So that game point has been squandered. And we're now back to juice. There is still a chance here for the young French wild card. Now the Montpellier crowd in the region that goes from from the Pyrenees to the Mediterranean will all be wishing to see the young French kid pull off a brilliant smash and grab here at the final stage of this set. As Sinner goes wide. Sinner goes wide, and it was an ace. It was some sort of confusion there because FILS looked like he wanted to challenge the point. So Sinner is back to an advantage. Sinner has an advantage here again, another game point to try and make it 5-5 here in the first set. There's some good gameplay here by FILS and Sinner. So Sinner goes down the line, hits the net, second serve, ball kid fumbles the ball as she tries to pick it up. So Sinner down the line. Oh, good body serve there by Sinner. Really caught FILS out. All the FILS could do was hit it beyond the tram lines, and Sinner keeps it. And I think because of that great hold, given the pressures that were on him, we should play.
Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner.
Why not show the Sinner button whilst for that holder serve there? So FILS goes cross court. Sinner able to get something good strong onto it, and FILS goes backhand onto the tram line. Was it beyond or not? I've got the thing on silence. I don't exactly know. I think we've gone for a video replay here. We've gone for Hawkeye, and it just clips the line. What an excellent backhand winner there by Arthur Freeze. 15 love here for the Frenchman. Looking to get it to 6, guarantee himself as a tiebreaker. another shot at the Sinner serve. So Freeze, cross court, just pinpoint on the line, paints it, cross court, and gets the point. 30 love. Strong start here on his service game. His service game's been getting stronger and stronger and stronger since the start of the match, which should be pleased about. Goes for another serve, goes down the line. Sinner's only able to scramble to it. Oh, and it was wild there by Freeze. No control, no direction, and that just ends up going wide and long. He needs to rein that in. He's not home and hosed yet. Sinner can still come back in this service game. So Fees here goes for a serve, winds it up, goes cross court. Sinner's able to get something onto it. Forehand cross court, literally takes it from coast to coast by Freeze, and Freeze goes for the lob on the return and is able to get it in. We're at 40-15 here. 40-15. I'm just checking on my boy Ryan Peniston to see how he's doing. He's won the second set, so it's 1 set all in that challenger in Tenerife, if any of you care. That's the next thing there. I like Ryan Peniston. Backhand by Freeze, backhand by Sinner, backhand by Freeze up the line. Sinner's able to scramble to it. Oh, and a little drop shot there by Freeze, but Sinner's able to get to it as the ball bounces way too high, and we're at 40-30 here. 40-30 here. Remember, hit the like button if you can, and comment in the chat. And I get as many likes as possible on this video. Yeah, just way too high, way too much power on that drop shot there by Freeze. It was a sitting duck, effectively, for Sinner to go grab. I see. So we got Freeze, hits it down the tee, just goes wide. Got a second serve here. Cross. Oh, hits it into the net. We are at deuce. It was 40-15. We are now at deuce here in this match. Freeze just looking around, just trying to work out what really just happened there to the best of his ability. So Freeze here, we're at deuce here. Sinner's sniffing an opportunity. So Freeze goes up, goes wide. Sinner hits the ball, really strong one there. Sinner's in control of his rally. Freeze is less scrounging and hits it long. Sinner has a break point. He has advantage on Freeze's serve. It would be such a Sinner thing to do, and it would be such a tennis thing to happen that from having break points in the previous match to get broken in the next. A couple of Italians in the stands. I believe you can get a direct train between Montpellier and Italy, so it's got to make sense for there to be a lot of Italians here. So Freeze goes for the serve, goes up out wide. Sinner, strong return onto it, and it hits the net. Oh, I think we've got a video replay here, and it'll decide if this is going to be a Sinner break or not. We wait for the replay to be played, and the ball was in. The ball was in, which then means that we have our first break here, and it comes at the penultimate game of the match. 6-5 here to Jannik. He's looking to get this first set wrapped up. He'll be coming in. It was such a tight ball being in. So from looking as though he was going to get broken by Freeze, not literally last serve ago, he gets broken instead. How many times have we ever watched a match where on one game there are break points to one player, he doesn't take those chances, or they don't take those chances, and then the next service game, on their service game, they get broken? That tried and tested formula has happened again here. Freeze, as you can tell by the sit down, is disappointed. He knows the opportunities he had. He was 40-15 up on his own serve, but just didn't get it sorted, didn't get it to break, didn't get it to a minimum of a tiebreaker. And has to come out and find a way of getting past the top 20 Italian. We do not know how this will end up playing out. But actually, you could probably guess by the fact that if Sinner's going to be playing his strongest game, he will hold it. He will get to 7-5. If not, we are going to a tiebreaker. If FILS can really muster something here at the Open Sud de France, be interesting. And Sean's saying Sinner really needs a tournament win. It has been ages. It has. I believe his last tournament win was on the clay in Umag, where he beat Carlos Alcaraz in the final there in late July, early August. I believe it was late July. Yeah, it would have been late July. So Sinner here ends up missing the first serve, gets the second serve in. FILS goes for a backhand shot down the line, and it goes on the wrong side of the tram lines. So it's 15-love here to Jannik as he looks to take this first set. Just getting himself ready. Just getting the balls ready. FILS just looking at his bracket. Get himself ready. So Sinner here goes down the line. FILS is able to just get something onto it, but Sinner is at the net, controlling the point beautifully, and gets it sorted with a little squash type rally there, or badminton type rally, and it makes it 30-love. Makes it 30-love here to Jannik. They sound a little bit deflated because it was really looking promising for FILS to get a break there and to be serving for the first set. But as it stands, Sinner is serving for the first set. Just shows how quickly tennis can turn. So FILS here going, getting himself ready. Sinner goes for the serve, goes out wide, clips the net, goes wide for the second serve here for Sinner. And with this second serve, he goes wide again. FILS is able to get something onto it, but he gets too much onto it. And Sinner here has 3 set points. He's secured himself 3 set points to take the first set here in Montpellier. Ghost, you pick up a key thing there. He really did pick his moment. Probably one of the best moments you can do to get the break sorted. Really deflates your opponent after so much effort's been put into a set. So Sinner here with a service motion goes down the line. FILS is able to get something onto it. We've got a bit of a forehand to forehand exchange, and FILS is able to run to the net and poke it wide. So it is 40-15. I say poke it wide, poke it to the side. We're at 40-15. So 40-15. But Sinner here still has 2 set points. Sinner still has 2 set points on his serve. So Sinner goes down the line, goes wide. It is a second serve here for Sinner. Second serve for Sinner. And with that second serve, fires it into the net, double fault. So from 40-love up, it's 40-30. Is there a half chance here for Sinner? Quite possibly. Oh, sorry. Is there a half chance here for FILS? Quite possibly. Or is this going to be a bit of a red herring and he's just luring his opponent into a false sense of security or a false sense of hope? Something's wrong with Sinner's feet. He's really playing around with his shoe wear at the moment. So Sinner here goes for the service motion, goes cross court. FILS is able just to scramble to it. Sinner up the line. FILS cross court. Sinner cross court as well. Bit of a cross court exchange taking place here. FILS, Sinner up the line. FILS able to get a good backhand onto it. Sinner up the line. Backhand by Sinner. Backhand by FILS. Backhand wide, and Sinner takes the first set. Jannik Sinner has taken the first set here in Montpellier.
Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner.
So after, I'm just trying to work out how long the match time's been here. 57 minutes after 57 minutes of play. Jannik Sinner takes the first set against Arthur Freeze 7-5. Almost the correct thing from a prediction I saw earlier on, but the other way around in terms of the scoreline. 71% serves in from Arthur Freeze, a good number, to 62 to Jannik, but it was Jannik who was getting the first serve points, won at 86%. and 62% on the second serves, compared to 66 and 46%, respectively, for Arthur Freeze. As we saw, the break points in this match took place in the 10th and 11th game, with 2 break points being squandered by Arthur Freeze, and that 1 break point that was all that was needed by Sinner being capitalised on in the penultimate game. Right, so I will go back to some of the questions that were asked of me as both players get themselves ready for the second set. I know I missed a couple. So as a response to my comment about Jack, see Emma and Jack injury problems. Yeah, I blame the food. Time to import some Southern European chefs. That's a little bit harsh there, Ghost. We've got some all right chefs here in the United Kingdom. Then we got another one, which was, do you think Emma will ever win a slam? I guess you mean Emma Raducanu. I do think she has certainly the possibility to do so. We need to see that injury issue go away and for consistent matches to take place. Personally, I quite like her coaching situation to become a little bit more permanent with whoever she chooses. I know she's got a past of using a coach for 3 to 4 months and then moving on to another one. But she has the potential, she has the talent to be able to certainly go deep in the slam, and the women's game as it is, slams will open up. There will be tournaments that will open up throughout the time of play, and that could have been Australia if it weren't for the pure fact she was scheduled to play Coco Gauff in the second round, and even then she was able to play toe to toe in a lot of that match. Certainly, more matches, more time on tour, developing key parts to a game. She could, she still has the potential to be an absolutely unreal bit of force on the game. We'll couple that in though with something you asked to do with young British tennis players, because you mentioned about Jack and Emma. There is the potential of a huge array of young English talent that will be coming through in 5 to 10 years' time. We've got Oliver Boulding at the moment, who's in a really big junior final at the moment in Colombia. A couple of weeks ago, the Petit de Poix, I think is the name of the famous under 13 or under 14 tournament in France, was run by a young boy called Marc Saban. And then we also got the likes of Hannah Klumung. She got to the final of that event last year. And we've got a range of cool, really good youngsters as well. Isabel Lacey, Ella McDonald, Sober as well. I've forgotten his first name. Ton of really young, exciting British players that could be coming through in a few years' time to really challenge those on the tour. So what have we got? Other questions we got. Have you been to all the UK tournaments, Wimbledon, Queens, etc.? So I have been to Wimbledon 4 times. I went in 2021 twice and 2022 twice. I really took advantage of the resale options on the Wimbledon website. I've been to Queens once. I went to the final last year. I've been to Surbiton like 3 or 4 times, but that's because it's a very close tournament to where I live. And I went to Eastbourne, the final as well last year as well. I really took advantage of all the grass court events that took place, and I saw some really great tennis on the grass, as you can expect. We'll come to your other questions as well, just as FILS is currently doing his first service game, and Sinner is 15-0 up. He would like to get a break here earlier on, just to really solidify the potential of winning the second set. So FILS goes for a serve, hits it long. FILS again goes for a serve, and then up the line by Sinner. We've got a bit of a loopy exchange taking place here. Sinner up the line, back, and FILS just hits it too short, but then Sinner hits it wide. Goes for the lines on the tram line and hits it beyond that tram line. Not good. Not good at all. Certainly not good at all. We are in the midst here of the first game here in the second set. We are at 15-15 between FILS and Jannik Sinner. As FILS goes for the service motion, go that wide. Sinner's able to get a good connection to it, but it is long. It's somewhat distracted because there's a lot of car moving outside my house. I don't know why. Backhand by Sinner, just hits it wide. Sinner felt his back there a bit. That was a bit worrying to see. I hope it's nothing, but he ended up hitting it wide there as well. So we're currently sitting at 30-15. 30-15. So I'm just going to check to see how Pedersen's doing. It's 2-1 to his opponent at the moment, on serve at the moment in Tenerife. As FILS hits it into the net on a good return there by Sinner, a good deep return there by Sinner, and all FILS can do is put it into the net. So FILS are just getting themselves sorted for the next service game. We'll say for this service game, for this service point. FILS down the line, hits the net. So FILS down the line again. Sinner able to get some sort of return onto it. FILS is in control at the moment, but Sinner's looking to gain control back. Strong forehand by FILS, but it hits the net and bounces back onto his side. Sinner has a break point here. Break point in the first FILS service game. FILS really needs to shorten the points. Yeah, he does, guys. So I do agree. Sinner's winning all the longer exchanges. So Sinner here with a break point. Will he do it? Will he break him again? Down line there by FILS. Sinner gets a good return. FILS strong backhand there. Strong return there. Sinner doing his absolute best to keep the ball in play. And he just hits it long. So we are at juice. We are at juice here on Sinner's service game. So juice here on FILS' service game. As Arthur FILS here is just checking out his balls, which ones he wants to pick, which ones he wants to take. So FILS here with a service point, goes down the tee, hits the net. Second serve here for Sinner. So FILS goes for the hit. Sinner strong return. We've got the backhand exchange here. Forehand by Sinner. Forehand by FILS. Forehand by Sinner. Really strong forehand by Sinner across court. Absolutely leaves FILS in the mud. Advantage Sinner. Another break point. A chance to go a break up earlier here in the second. And given the way Sinner has been playing, you would fear it could be the lethal blow. So FILS here just winding up for a service motion. Hits it wide. Sinner gets a good strong return on it. FILS hits it strong, but it was in the net. It was in the game. Forehand by FILS. Forehand by Sinner. Forehand by FILS again. Forehand by Sinner, strong cross court. And FILS hits it down the line and hits it the wrong side of the tram lines. It's more of a double shot than a single shot. And it means that Sinner has an early break here in the start of the second set. Could this be the beginning of the end? Is probably a good way of describing this. Jannik Sinner, top 20 in the world, and those pants do not work well for him. Top 20 in the world, got the first set, broke early here in the second. Clinical is the best way to describe this sort of match. Clinical play here by Jannik. We've had the moments from FILS. We've had the determination. Is it all in vain, though, here in this match? Or can FILS find a way to get back in here? Ghost thinks this could be a quick set. That could be a possibility. Down the line there by Sinner. Into the net. Got a second serve here. So Sinner goes second serve. Goes down the line. FILS gets some return onto it. Backhand by Sinner. Backhand by FILS. Forehand by Sinner. Forehand by FILS. Forehand by Sinner again. Backhand by FILS. All happening at the back of the court here with backhand exchanges. And a beautiful backhand there by Sinner. And Sinner goes to the net. Tries to do a drop shot. And FILS is able to get to a passing shot. A backhand passing shot off a drop shot. And is able just to keep it in. And as such, it's 15-love up here in this first Sinner service game of the second set. It's looking good. Oh, it was out. Sinner challenged it, and it was long. I do apologise, everyone in the chat. That was wrong. Sinner challenged that ball, and it was found to be long. So Sinner 15 love up. That's not going to do FILS' confidence or any good. Sinner hit, goes for the hit, cross court, down the line by Sinner. FILS is stretching all over the shot. Cross court by Sinner, cross court by FILS, and he passes in. Cross court passing shot there by Arthur FILS to make it 15-15. Good play there by FILS. Really strong shot selection at that point. It is a high level IFL. It is a very good thing there. Like I said, make sure you haven't already, like this video, share it as well. If anyone that you know likes tennis and isn't watching the match at the moment, and should be doing. Cross court by FILS. Cross court by Sinner. Just goes wide. So Sinner hit with the second serve. Down the line, FILS gets a good return onto it, but it is long. He gets a return onto it, but it is long. FILS sort of rolls his eyes in frustration. It is now 30-15 to Jannik Sinner. 30-15 here to Jannik Sinner. Sinner gets himself sorted and ready. So Sinner goes to shot down the line. FILS is just able to get something onto it, but as it clips the net, it goes onto the wrong side. 40-15 here to Sinner. We certainly could be in an interesting part. Will Sinner consolidate here? He's got the break. Can he consolidate to make it 2-love? So Sinner hit with the serve. Cross court. Just slightly wide. Second serve here for Sinner. Cross court again. FILS gets a good return onto it. Sinner's less scrambling. Really strong set points here by FILS. Oh, but then he hits it beyond the tram lines. And Sinner has... So, Ghost, you bring up a cool thing. So good thing. Yeah, he does need to work on his return game. He needs to make sure that that ball is hitting deeper and shorten the points where he can. And then FILS says, whoever wins, I will support one of these two against Runa. I remember IFL that Runa is going to be playing one of the most frustrating players on the tour in Maxime Cressy. There could be a bit of an upset brewing, possibly, as we get a service point there where FILS ends up backhanding it wide. I think we could be in a bit of a danger zone here for FILS. If he could lose his head, Sinner's looking to get that double break. FILS goes out wide. Sinner gets a return onto that, but it was long by FILS on a bit. I felt, why do people dislike Runa so much? He is great, fun, and exciting. I could probably give you an answer to that. Probably relates to the way he acts on courts. That could be seen as a little bit childish and Kevin the teenager-ish, which people don't particularly like. Maybe it's understandable at points. Ghost, personally, I find him a little disrespectful. Yeah, I felt brings it up. And Ghost, you say frustrating is a good word for Cressy. He's a total time warp. It's like Thanos snapped his fingers and brought him back from the 80s. It is so frustrating to watch his matches, especially when he's playing people that don't really know how to deal with serve volleyers. It's like you just want to see some points, and it's not going to happen. Backhand by Sinner, backhand by FILS, little slice by Sinner, other liner by FILS. Sinner gets a good return onto it. Oh, returns it deep, and Sinner back forehand. FILS is left running. Cross court by Sinner. Thingy by FILS. Cross court by Sinner again. FILS is running from coast to coast to coast as Sinner hits it long in an attempt to come forward with on the attack. Sinner hits it long. And then Ghost says, "Yeah, I'm a McEnroe Kyrgios fan and like them childish." Again, anyone, it's how you if you like that sort of behaviour, that's good. That's absolutely fine. It's it can bring a lot of attention to the sport. For people that see it as a little bit more of a stuffier type sport where it's all gentlemen and ladies and all that sort of stiff upper lip type thingy, or higher brow. And we have a double fault there by FILS and as we move to 30-30. We move to 30-30 here. Trying to make sure that I can see the next one, which is up there. If this does take place the way it could do. So, sorry about that. I forgot to turn my finger in the chat there. We are rocking and rolling. If we can get as many people as possible listening to this stream, that'd be brilliant. So FILS goes out wide. Sinner gets a return onto it, a really strong return. FILS goes up the line. Sinner cross court and into the net. He cross courts it into the net. After FILS has a game point to at least get on the board here, or to start to get on the board here in the second set. Not to go a double breakdown, which could be quite problematic for his chances or his desire to win this set, or just to get back into it, really. FILS down the line. Cross court by FILS. Cross court by Sinner. Oh, and he hits it long. FILS just puts way too much on that shot. The control was really lacking. He hits it long. It's 40-40 without juice. Sinner is sniffing an opportunity here still to get that double break. And you would certainly say, I think I said it was terminal. I think it was final if he got first break. It could be absolutely fine on the second. Oh, strong return there by Sinner. Really going from coast to coast. FILS is scrambling. Sinner to FILS. Backhand by Sinner. Really strong backhand. Sinner lifts it. And FILS is unable to get to it. And near enough trips over the little pink block that stands between both, that divides both sides of the court. Sinner here has an advantage. Here. Let's check what we've got. Some gentlemen, stiff upper lip, high brow. These are all code words for some kind of elite European class politics. The rest of us don't align with these sensibilities. Just be honest. No, that's absolutely fine. I'm just saying the way in which some people may not, how tennis can be perceived along that. These dudes are running out of socks. They certainly are. So FILS goes up the line. Sinner gets a good return. FILS goes cross court and he hits it long. We have a double break here. We are in double break territory because this man has really stepped his game up here to try and get this second set as quickly as possible.
Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner.
Yep, Jannik Sinner is a double break up here in. Oh, damn it. Is a double break up here in Montpellier. I've completely forgotten what the name of the place was there. 3-love up. Really is just cantering now towards the finish line. It will be interesting to see how FILS, as a brand new player on tour, responds to being in a hole like this. We know nothing of his psychology. It'd be interested, yeah. It's when we're seeing it a bit here. The shot selection is just starting to become much poorer, and something he needs to have a look at. Now, Ghost, you asked me a question earlier on. I'm just getting it up here, which is, what is your favorite European tournament, and what's your favorite outside of Europe? My favorite European tournament. If I'm going to say European as well, I'm not including the UK. I went to the Monte Carlo Masters last year in April, and that is a really brilliant tournament. The site feels like a bit of a mini Wimbledon. Is how I can describe it, in terms of there being not as many courts, but still having that same sort of tennis event or tennis venue atmosphere. I've been to a fair few indoor hard court events in Europe, and a lot of that does feel as though you're just going to a concert hall and you are and you're just going to watch tennis. Whereas those events very much feel as though they are tennis events first and foremost. And then outside of Europe, I've not been to any outside of Europe, but from what I've watched on the TV, I love Indian Wells. I absolutely love watching Indian Wells. I think the courts look brilliant. That sort of like bluey, purpley color. I keep looking at it each time and say, one time it's blue, one time it's purple, one time it's blue, one time it's purple. I'm not entirely sure. Sinner's 15 love up here. Now he's 30 love up, racing up here to try and get to a 4 love lead. The colours there, the main centre court looks brilliant, especially when there's a lot of people in the crowds. And also the court one looks brilliant. It's like a mini version of the first court. I've got some bits down here. Go say Monte Carlo. Yeah, I read a lot of good things about it. If any of you in this chat who are watching, who are listening, a Sinner here goes 40 love up, and Sinner likes Monte Carlo as well. If any of you get the opportunity to go to Monte Carlo, it sounds like it should be an expensive place to go. The ticket prices are fairly cheap. In terms of if you go earlier on in the week, you can get to if you go earlier on in the week, you can get a centre court ticket for around about 50 to 60 euros, a lot lower down. And the second, which is the first court, is called Court Ranier Court Ranier the Third. The second court is Court des Princes. Courts des Princes. That is really good. It is. You are really close to the players. You're really low down, and the ticket prices there are really cheap. But especially if you look to go on a day where you can get a lot of seeded players on that court, you can be getting it for 30, 35 euros, which is really, really good. It's a really, really good really, really good deal. Unbelievably, there's plenty of transport options to get you from different parts of the Côte d'Azur, which is the area of France that it's based in, to get you to the venue site. It has its own train station. In terms of it has its own train station near enough on site, as we are 4 love up here, and Freeze is going for the service motion and hits it long. We could be looking at a bagel set here. This could be interesting. But yeah, there are and there's lots of cheap accommodation in Nice, which is the French town just next to Monaco. You can easily stay there. Only thing that you have to watch out for price wise is that the price of food and drink in the country club is quite expensive. That is the only bit where you've got a large cost associated with going to that place. But if you've got time, it's if you've got kids, it's the April Easter holidays when it usually takes place in. Go to it. You will absolutely love your time there. Great clay court tennis. Just be more worried about the fact that make sure you have lots of players in the evening, because it does drop quite cold. But in the daytime, it is gorgeous sun. So we are 15. We have 30-15 here to Freeze. He's fighting back a bit here, as I've just tried to sell to you all Monte Carlo on this chat here. Ghost, you also saying that Indian Wells is wonderful, beautiful weather, great facilities, easy access to players on practice courts. Excellent. I once got a 10-foot from Federer when I practiced. Excellent. That's really good to hear, Ghost. And you like to do Rome one day too, and also possibly Monaco. And I hope, I think I've sold it to you guys. That's really good. That's good to hear. Like I said, please, you get a chance to go to Monte Carlo. It's a brilliant time of year. Brilliant time. So we just 40-15 here to Fees, and we are going, and he's looking to get onto the scoreboard here. Sinner up the line, hits it long, and Fees was able to hold on there, and it is now 4-1 here to Arthur Fees. Also 4-1 here to Jannik Sinner. So it is all looking good. Just to check in around the grounds, just to make sure everyone is updated. Well, if you fancy a trip to the casino, Ghost, certainly so. It's actually quite cheap to enter. I think there's around about 13 euros to enter the casino in Monaco, but they do a lot of free play between 2 and 4 p.m. So do take advantage of that. Do go to the casino at a point during your trip. Just to let you know, Beatrice Belinda Bentic is a set and a break up here, a set and a break up in Abu Dhabi, and in Linz, Maria Sakkari has entered the court as Potapova has won in 3 sets, and it looks as though Ryan Peniston is going to be knocked out of Tenerife, or not. It's still 5-2 to Trevenga in the final set. They charge to enter the casino. Wow, a really different culture. Yeah, they do charge for you to be able to enter the casino, and that's not even to even bet any money. I think it's just in case people want to go have a little tour around it because of how famous it is and being in movies and and some TV shows and whatnot. So Jannik here at 4-1, looking to make it 5-1. Sees the end line in sight. Does see the end line in sight here. Remember, make sure you like the video where you can. I know we've been running here for an hour and a half already. Of course, we'd probably like to run a little bit longer, given the quality of this match. But then also, Sinner, it looks like he doesn't want that to happen at all. He wants to get back to the dressing room and to get some French dinner. So he is 15 love up. Hits a strong serve. All that FILS can do is hit it into the net. FILS gearing himself up here. So Sinner, cross court. FILS gets a return onto it. Sinner hits it, tries to hit it around him or inside out, and ends up hitting it into the net. Ends up hitting it into the net. It is now 15-15. Here. Sinner just blows his hand. So Sinner here going for the serve. Down the tee. Good strong serve there by Sinner. Makes it 30-15. 203 kilometers now, not miles per hour. So it goes in Oklahoma and Florida and Vegas and elsewhere in the States, the casinos give you free drinks and tickets to a magic show or performance of a chicken playing a piano. Crikey, that is a different type of culture there. A chicken playing a piano. Oh, that would end up looking like pretty bizarre music. Would you use its wings, or would it just sort of stamp on it? Good to stamp on it. We're at 30-30 here. FILS is just getting himself sorted. 30-30. Cross court, FILS tries to get something onto it, and he hits it wide. Sinner, it is 40-30. He's looking to make it 5-1. Ghost is hoping that FILS can at least get one break back. That's the hope of a lot of people. A lot of people watching the stream wants it to continue and wants to see this match continue. Always quite key. So Sinner, cross court, FILS is just only able to spray it wide. So Sinner is at 5-1. We are one game away. One game away here. And this man is in full control.
Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner.
Just feels as though, given these matches, that should be on loop. Okay, so FILS, cross court. Sinner's able to get something onto it, but he just only hits the net. 15 love to FILS. It is imperative here that FILS can get through his service game as quickly as possible so we can start to eye up the Sinner service game. And it goes just saying, what can I say? American chickens are just really into jazz. That sounds like they're incredibly into jazz there. So cross court there by Sinner as FILS. Sinner's unable to do anything about it, hitting it into the net. 30 love here to FILS. Very quick points here by FILS. So he's picked up and he knows what he needs to do here. So FILS down the tee, an ace there. If he was serving like this at the beginning of this set, he wouldn't be in a situation where he's 5-1 down. But that's not the case. He's serving like it now. I think we're going to be going down for a sit down soon. Cross court by FILS, hits the net. So cross court, Sinner gets something onto it. It goes wide, and FILS celebrates by shaking his racket into the air as we get the Marcus Rashford celebration by his coach. That's a joke. I know a lot of people have done that for years, but prior to Marcus Rashford. And the manner you're picking up the thing here, which is Sinner is running away with it at the moment, saying his boy is too good. His boy is too good. It could be the case here. We got a big if. Exactly. It was the if. The if is key here. The if is certainly key in this match, as other matches around the ground, as I say on. As Travaga has beaten Ryan Peniston. in Tenerife. So there is just one Brit in action now. That is in the Vinicius Challenger in Lithuania. I say that as a Brit myself. I'm just really curious to see how they're all doing. We've also had a futures event taking place this week in Bath, which is a very ancient, a very historic town or city based outside of Leeds, outside of Bristol. Just checking to see how they're doing there. Not good to the Brits. Lovely. We'll discuss over that. Barring the fact of some good bits in the doubles. And Beatrice Haddad-Meyer also on now. Yes, she is, Mana. There are a range of matches that you wish to log on to anywhere of how you were able to view tennis to be able to watch it. We've got matches this afternoon in Montpellier, Abu Dhabi, and also Linz. And then this evening, there are matches in Cordoba and Dallas. Matches everywhere. So Sinner's serving for the set here. Hits it into the net as he tries to go up court. Sinner getting himself ready here. Does a body serve. Sinner is able to show good control, but hits it long. Sinner hits it long. So we are at 15 love here to Fitz in this service game. Something that Sinner is challenging, but the challenge was unsuccessful because it was well wide. As I know, Sinner here looking to become the first finalist in the Open Sud de France, Open South of France, or the South of France Open, as you could call it. Oh, and just wild there. What we've seen in this match for a while, FILS just hitting it to with just no direction, just aggression, completely without control, and takes a good opportunity and squanders it. Hello, chat. Lurking Forza. Go, Jannik. Oh, we're all now coming out now that he's winning well. Dallas, what a terrible place for a tournament. What's happening here, then? Dallas, what a terrible place for a tournament. Did they learn nothing from the WTA finals? Stop trying to get Texas to abandon the NFL, NBA, NBL, and NHL. Not going to happen. Quite surprised there's NHL taking place in Dallas, given the fact it's a very hot place. But that's just me just being trying to be funnily ironic about it being hot and ice hockey needs to be cold. As everyone's really popping out here, it's good to see. Sinner is 30-15 up. 2 points away here, 2 points away, looking for his first match point. And we can play the match point button if he gets this one. Cross court, long there by Sinner. Good, a long one there by Sinner. Short that's by Sinner. Clips the net on the way over, so we got a let call here. We've got a let call. Just glad to see Jannik doing well and being healthy. That's correct, Jane. That's what we want to see. Good tennis players, fit and healthy, playing well. That sounded a little bit sarcastic. That wasn't meant to be. I'm actually quite serious. But that's what we do want to see. Nobody wants to see, injured tennis players and, events where we're only seeing half the good players and not all of them, where we want to see best quality tennis where possible, near enough at every single tournament. We hope. Unless it's one that has Albert Ramos Pena last, and in which case that man can go to whatever fiery pit he exists in. I only say that because he's got to have some annoying victories against players I like. Down the line by Sinner, just clips the net, so we are into a second serve or let. Hell, I think your football might be more popular down south than tennis. I don't think tennis at authority is higher enough sociologists. That could be the case. You'll know the American network better than we will. With a backhand exchange taking place here. Fritz hits it long, so we have
match point.
We are in the closing stages now here in the South of France Open, or the Open Sud de France. Where do you think Sinner's best level would rank him in the world at this point? Thank you, Sean. That's a good question. So I will answer that depending on how this next point goes, and then we'll get to that. Sinner tries to go down the line. It just goes wide. I was listening for a while. It fills me with annoyance that I pay tennis TV and they only cover some matches at 250s. Could agree, Jane. got a backhand to backhand exchange, forehand by Freeze, backhand by Sinner, backhand by Freeze, forehand by Sinner, forehand by Freeze, forehand by backhand by Sinner, all happening at the back of the court here. And Freeze goes long, and it's out. Jannik Sinner is the first player to book his place in the Open Sud de France final 2023. He beats Arthur Freeze, the French wildcard, the French young wildcard, who's had an immense week here in Montpellier, 7-5, 6-2. And Jannik here is eyeing up his first title in 2023. He, of course, plays the winner of the next match, which is between Maxime Cressy, the American serving volleyer, and Holger Rune. So, Sinner there, just getting us ready for his interview. And I will answer a few of those questions. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. You ended up being touched a nerve there about what to say about that man. We'll leave that there. Bruna is coming. And I'll just go back to some of the questions that popped through whilst that match point was taken on. Sean, you said, where do you think Sinner's best level would rank him at the world at this point? I think his best level could certainly have him into the top 10. I still do worry that he is not good enough at the Grand Slams to be able to get all the big, huge competitions against the top players to be able to get that needed win or to get to that needed next level. But there is the potential there. He just needs to improve key parts to his game to be able to do that. Checking what other comments we've got. Are you recovering, Rune Cressy? I'm going off now because you can probably hear my voice is starting to go. I don't know if there possibly maybe somebody else who'd be covering Rune versus Cressy in the second semi-final here. Sinner just goes and does his on-court interview. But all that's left to say is thank you very much, everyone, for watching as we watched Jannik Sinner here, showing why he's one of the most promising youngsters we have on the tour at the moment. And make sure you tune in. There'll be plenty of other matches that will be covered tonight or later on this afternoon. And goodbye.